Hi everyone, this is Brianna and I'm going to go over how to do homework number 1 using MYSTAT. So first off, before you start following these instructions, you'll have to go to St. John Central to the course page and download the data file for MYSTAT. So you'll see two different data files. You want the one ending in .syz, which signifies that it's compatible with SysStat or MYSTAT, rather than the one that ends in .sav, which is an SPSS data file. So as long as you've gone to the website and clicked on that and it's downloaded, obviously, it might not have opened unless you have opened it through MYSTAT, but I'll show you how to do that in a second. So the way that you'll open up the file is to go to File, Open, Data, and I saved mine in a specific spot, so I'm just going to find it, Data 1, and Open. Here it is. Okay, so I'm not going to do exactly what the project asks us to do, but I'll show you how to do each of the tasks that are necessary for the project. So I might not be deleting the exact variables that you'll need to delete or creating the exact variables you'll need to create, but more or less I'll show you, what you need to do to get the project done, but follow the instructions on the assignment closely. Okay, so number 1 is going to ask you to compute the minimum and maximum values, the means, and the standard deviations for all of the variables. So what you're going to do to get those are descriptive statistics, by the way. Whenever you hear descriptive statistics, it's basically stuff like mean, minimum, maximum, standard deviation, all that good stuff. So to get those in MYSTAT, you're going to go to Analyze, Basic Statistics, and then we really obviously wouldn't care about something like ID, but you'll care about all the other variables for your project. I'm not going to highlight all of them, I'll just pick a few. And I'm going to select those by clicking Add. They'll go to my selected variables window over here. And then under options, you'll see the different statistics that you can request. Right now, I already have the options that we want highlighted, so min, max, mean, and standard deviation. Later on in this course, you'll need things like skewness, standard error of skewness, so it's good to take note of what's here while you have the box open. As soon as you have all the statistics you want checked off, you will just click OK. And you'll notice that MYSTAT brings you to this tab over here that's different from the data file tab. It's .syo, which signifies that it's an output file. And what you're interested in is right down here, the descriptive statistics. You can either, highlight just like I just did and click File, Print Selected Area, and just, print it out right from here. Or if you prefer to copy and paste it into a Word document, you can do that too. Just be sure that after you paste it into Word, you highlight everything again and change the font to Courier New, because it helps keep the formatting the same. And I think if you don't do that, especially with bigger tables, it's going to mess up the formatting. So any way you want, you can just print that out like the instructions ask you to do. That's pretty much it for number 1. Then for number 2, oops, sorry guys. Okay, so for number 2, let's go back to our data set by clicking the Data tab up here. You're going to be asked to make a new data set called order.sys in this case, since we're using MYSTAT. And you'll want to keep certain variables but not others. Again, I'm not going to do exactly what the assignment asks you to do, but I'll show you how to delete variables and how to reorder the variables and how to save the data set under a new name. So that's actually what we want to do first. So let's resave this data1 file as order.sys, which is the first thing the project's asked us to do. So just like any other file, save as, and we're going to call it order. So just keep it as order, don't put anything in here. It'll automatically add the .sys file, and you'll click save. So So here we see it successfully saved our data file to order.sys if we look on this tab. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is you're going to have to delete a bunch of variables. The way you're going to do that is, let's say you wanted to delete fem. Just click on the column of the variable. You can do multiple at a time. And you just highlight whatever you want to delete. Right click. And you'll see delete variables. Definitely click on delete variables instead of just delete, because delete variables will delete everything including the variable name, whereas delete will leave like blank variables with the variable name up there. So this is the better way to do it, delete variables. And voila, you're done with that. So the next thing you'll need to do for number 2 is to reorder the variables. So I'll just give you an example. Let's say, I don't know why that keeps coming up. Okay, so let's say you want to move, like, let's randomly say like Manti, this variable. Let's say you want that in the very front of the database, like let's say you want it right after gender. What you do first is you click on gender. Now I want you to right click, go down to insert variable, and since we want Manti to go to the right of gender, we're going to click insert after. Okay, and we'll keep it new variable for now, which means it's just going to put a blank variable space called new variable after gender. Okay, so now we have our spot lined up for Manti. Go back over to Manti. And just like anything else you would do, you would cut, and just be mindful of what you're going to cut and paste, because sometimes the variable name won't copy. We'll hit paste, and then see, like here it didn't paste the variable name, which is Manti. So just be sure to come down here to variable view before you do anything else and rename it to Manti again. So if you just click on new var, which is the temporary name, and you click Manti, just enter the name and then hit enter, should be good to go. Let's go back over to our data screen by clicking on the bottom left corner, data, down here. And there we go. It's renamed as Manti. So we moved that over, and that's how you're going to reorder everything as the project asks you to do. Sorry for the third time. Don't show me this again. Whoops. Okay. So the next step, number 3, we want to transpose the database. Bill asks specifically that you delete the ID variable, which is over here, so that all you'll have is columns, which are subjects. So you're just going to flip-flop what the columns and the rows are. So the columns are going to be subjects, and the rows are going to be variables. So first things first, we want to delete ID. I just showed you how to delete a variable. So same thing, highlight and then delete variable. And then the next thing you want to do is transpose the actual data. So the way you do that in MYSTAT is to do data, reshape, and then transpose. In this project, we want to keep all of our variables in the transposed database. So we're going to add them over here, and the project asks you specifically to resave or save the transposed database as T order. So we're going to type that in, T order. And again, it'll automatically make it a .sys file. So don't put like .save or .sys or whatever's in the project instructions. Just put T order. And so when we hit OK, we're going to have a transposed database. I did this before, that's why it's saying overwrite. And we'll just click back to T order. This is our new database, and like I said, each column is going to be